Welcome, adventurers. Today we're going to be turning, all this stuff into some industrial scatter terrain, which is what I've decided I'm calling it, like the last several builds. Start off with taking some EVA foam to kind of cover up the tops of those simply orange juice lids that I've had floating around forever. Pretty simple. You use it as a template. You cut it out. And then, you super glue it on. It's not very complicated. It seems like it, but it's not. A few squarish edges, I think, are okay because it makes a more beat up, kind of worn feel. But yeah, you cut them out, super glue them on. A little sanding on the plastic never hurts. I didn't do that on the lids because I was too busy sanding a different part. Here are some various things. Those are aromatic plug-in caps, an adult beverage insert, a soy sauce cap that I just kind of super glued down. That specific insert came out of a Kraken rum bottle, for those of you who are old enough to buy that. And that is a test tube, essentially. From a previous job I had. Here I'm test fitting things so I can lay out a base. So none of that in the upper left is actually glued together yet. So I create a rough size of the base, cut it out, kind of rough out some corners here where I want to cut it off. I actually squared them off with a square. This is a part of a 6-pack beer ring that I glued to the top of a palm bottle that I cut the top off. And then that is an insert from a cardboard roll that wrapping paper came on for commercial packing material. Here are the children's play tubes that I'm super gluing to this structure. There's another piece of EVA foam because it creates nice curved contacts. I've done this in the past. You can see it in other videos. It's not terribly exciting, but it certainly works. Little baking soda for instant gratification when it comes to the super glue. And of course I'm going to start painting here with a little white. I learned from not Armory, from Midwinter Minis, that the more aged you want something to look, the less you have to care. So 2 or 3 thin coats that actually leave the base coat showing helps for that. Now for something completely different. So as you know, I don't generally record while I'm filming, but something happened during this filming that is going to change that, at least for the day. Goldenmaple miniature fine detail brushes, perfect for detailed work. Miniature Warhammer 40k scale model. Nail art, acrylic, paint by numbers, watercolors, and oil. They sent me these. It's a Chinese company. They sell them on Amazon, and according to the communications they gave me, there's going to be a 10% discount code that will be in the episode description. It's good through almost the end of December. Lots of brushes. Lots of brushes, apparently. Now they asked me to review them, and as you all well know, I am the furthest thing from a painting expert, but evidently the good people at Goldenmaple don't know that about me. So what I have here is a bunch of brushes that I will use as best I can in the work that I do. Some of these will see less use than others because I need a lot more experience at miniature painting. I've got the various numbers that I don't know too much about. Here's a couple of duplicates already. Right? I mean, they look nice. It's Japanese imported nylon, from what they said on their communications. I mean, they have very, very fine tips. I'm really hoping that's making it into the video. I mean, a variety of things here. Some of these I see getting more use out of than others for the most part. Oof, that is an itty bitty. That'd probably be really good for like super fine details and eyeballs. So, what we're going to test this time around is probably none of these, because they're all too fine a thing. But these definitely fall into my wheelhouse. So we're going to continue painting our project with these brushes and let you know how it goes. With any luck, you found that information useful and also interesting. Now I'm going to completely paint out of frame with the brand new brush. I am then going to have my big hands in the way while I paint with the brand new brush. You've seen me paint before, and if you'd like to see more screw-ups like this, feel free to like, share, and subscribe, as well as to engage in my Patreon, which we have several members. More painting. I like the gray for the bases on these things, similar to concrete. Black to clean up my edges. The unplayed product placement. See, I got a little messy there. That's not the paintbrush's fault, that's mine. Orange will take about 7,000 or 8,000 coats to get any coverage on black. Remember that. But also do only 3,000 or 4,000 and it'll be faded. Same with the red on black. The silver, on the other hand, one coat did it. I did a second just because I was thorough. Now you are aged in ancient pepperoncinis for black wash and more of the review. So, while the wash is drying, I figured I would continue my review of these brushes. These are the ones I actually used. A 2/0 kind of wide brush, a 2/0 very fine tip brush, a 1 even wider, I think it's the widest one in there actually, and a 0, right? Now, I mean, I did a fairly aggressive brushing with these, and they seem to have held up well. I mean, that's what you do in miniature painting. You're not painting the most fine details all the time. You're getting kind of rough in there, and it seems like the brushes held their tips. This one is a really fine one. I mean, again, I'm not a brush expert. You guys know this. But I tried to use this to get into the very tight spots on a couple of the things I built, and it seemed to do a fine job. I used the crappiest paint I had because I wanted to see how it would do under, normal conditions that I would use it under, and I think they perform well. I mean, for the price point, which from what I remember seeing is around $20, not bad. Obviously, you can spend a lot more money, but if you're just getting into the hobby or you want some brushes that you're not terribly worried about, that will definitely get the job done, I would definitely say these Goldenmaple were worth it. They come in different colors and stuff. They had a whole variety of things when I was looking on their listings. So I would suggest getting them. I mean, take it for what it is and the source, because as you all know, I am not the best painter on the planet, but for what you get, which is, well, quite a lot, I'd say it would be worth the investment. I will say, as I looked over the brushes, like I didn't use any of these, but there's some slight variation in the paint on the handle there. I mean, a couple of them are missing the plastic caps on the actual bristles, but if you wanted a ton of little fine tip brushes for not a lot of money, well, I would say these are the ones to get. That's my 2 cents. They didn't pay me for this. They just sent me the brushes and asked me to review them. So I won't say it's sponsored in the strictest sense. So that's my honest opinion. They're good, inexpensive brushes. Wouldn't hurt you to have some. Hopefully that helps. Again, you can see the episode description for the links. Dry brushing, and now my patrons. Some very valued supporters: Ian Clark, Jesper Karkov, Nathan Jensen, Professor Bleep Bloop, Michael Ryan, James Arters, William, Arachnids Roughnecks, and Ross Flack. Our novice characters: HM Girl Potpourri, Ryertonic, and Idiot Luggage. And of course, our legendary character, LAJ. Now for the glamour shots. I played with the lighting quite a bit here. Unfortunately, it got a little saturated, but I leave my mistakes in. So here it doesn't look great. In fact, the last two pictures I took with zero lights on, just a little bit of ambient light coming through the shades in my hobby room. And those look to be the best flippin' pictures I could have taken. I don't understand why I try so hard sometimes. Put all this effort in, get these washed out pictures, and I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Oh yeah, I'm trying. Don't be afraid to try. That was sarcasm. As you can see, you get a sense of scale. This is very industrial looking. They could be like breather vents for mines or caves or whatever, a water concentrator, chemical plant, who knows. Here it is with the rest of my industrial terrain. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. Now go have an adventure in crafting.